Also, I want to highlight the bunker and tranquility play of the last game, though, on the side of BlossoM. It was pretty clever, and it was really impressive to see the armor plus that healing coming out. It was very difficult to get those kills.
I'm actually a little surprised that we didn't see the map choice on BlossoM here, because I think Cursed Hollow would have been a map for them to really fit into their playstyle. It could have also allowed heroes like Illidan, as you hinged to earlier. It would have definitely been a map for Wiz to maybe shine on. And Battlefield of Eternity giving that choice over to Ballistix and actually leaving the reins into the SCSC. Very surprising. We see Turiel.
I think this means so much for BlossoM if they ban this out. That being said, I want to just say, I don't think this means the draft's over by any means.
But do you first pick Uther?
You do not first pick the Uther.
But then you give up the Uther and whatever SC is going to play behind that.
You might. Okay.
That's what I'm scared of. It's strictly because it's SC's hero relies on being enabled. You can 100% guarantee money in the bank. Uther's coming out here, but with what?
To be honest, with the Greymane.
Just kidding.
There we go.
Okay, so then the Tracer being brought out for Ballistix.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Are the team's names correct?
But it is Battlefield of Eternity, right? So we have to keep in mind that this is one of those moments where the shift within that could be because the accenting of the mouth tracer is so much better on the map itself. It's not just relying on the, objective strength of the duo. It does, again, pulse bomb prepping is just left and right on Battlefield of Eternity.
I feel like I need to put my headset down and walk away for a few.
Also, the Tyrael ban is part of the reason we see that being picked up as well, I would argue, on the side of Ballistix. They are now being reactionary, sticking to the objective strength that we see, because now they know that they are not going for the high invulnerability, flexing it out with the Tracer Malfurion. I love this evolution.
The thing is, couldn't they have used the Tyrael themselves if they maybe expected a Tracer Malf? Because the thing is...
Uther Garrosh.
It's so hard to really, like... Almost. You almost did it.
Uther and Nubarak. So we still have the Uther and the Genji pairing with the Dragon Blade opportunities to get the threat to the backline. And Nubarak provides a lot of kill potential within the early game with the double hard crowd control, pretty easy initiation, diving out, just left and right. The early game is very much there. It's not like, Ballistix is anything to laugh at. We do see the Malthael ban, indicating a Garrosh / Blaze. An interest in those? BlossoM.
Yeah. So about that Garrosh.
About that Garrosh, but I would have actually loved to see maybe a Greymane ban. Maybe even a Tychus ban, to be honest, because those heroes, they could come in here, and although Tychus is not really the best one on BoE in general, those two hard-hitting heroes, like it's going to be a Greymane most likely now for Ballistix, and then they're going to follow it up with the Tracer, and Nubarak is going to suffer the exact same fate like in the last game. He's getting chunked down to pieces by all of those hard-hitting auto attacks. I'm not really sure if I like the approach of BlossoM here. Sorry to break the enthusiasm here, but I think this could go wrong.
I would say just purely based on the fact that this is BlossoM obviously playing reactionary and going so far out of the comfort zone, and it's it's against Ballistix. I agree with you, but this is one of those moments. This is potentially your last game, right? Yeah. To be able to win this. So if you're ever going to make that adjustment, I feel like this is the time to make that happen. Here comes out the Blaze from Ballistix, paired with the Greymane as well. Going to have that solid race between all those heroes on their side. Solid disengage as well to deal with the Dragon Blade all in.
Where does this leave Wiz? Do we kick it old school with a little bit of Sonya action?
You're going to frontline? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I got distracted for a moment there. Go with a Sonya? Maybe. It definitely has to be somebody who can deal with the Tracer. Normally I'd be like, oh, maybe an Arthas in this situation, but no, you don't want to have that kind of, dodge ability on the Howling Blast and then just watch Arthas go, like, I'm just trying to freeze her, but I can't touch her. Like, hey. And so I do think that Sonya could make up for that a little bit better, help with the race. But I can't help but feel like in the back of my mind I'm going, but it doesn't have enough oomph, and I feel like there might be something else.
How crazy are they willing to get? How desperate are they really? Because in the craziest of worlds, I could even see an Artanis making it in. I can make a Samuro, actually, very true. A Thrall is a hero that we totally forgot about as well. The Crash Lightning, hitting pretty hard if it gets all the way through. Didn't really work out so well, though, in the past.
A double reset composition into a Blaze in itself is already intimidating. Malfurion can go with the Tranquility, can go with the Twilight Dream. Both are pretty good counter momentum, only because the pairing with the armor situation that Blaze is able to provide. I don't know if it's enough to really need to go in any other heavy direction when it comes to their frontliner, as long as it kind of holds its own pretty I mean, even if it's just that ETC.
ETC, Muradin, both still available.
ETC, Muradin, I think, are probably going to be our most likely culprits here. Anything outside of that would... Diablo would be really out there.
Yeah.
But you don't really need much more with this composition, right? You've got Tracer, you've got Grayman, you know exactly what you're getting from that. Blaze is that secondary backup option for whatever warrior you throw in here, unless they just really come out of left field with something.
It's going to be the ETC here for Hooligan. One of the best to deal with the BOE stuns. It's really good in all the melees on the side of BlossoM and the frontline control or frontliners that they have. Overall, knowing that this is, you know, kind of match point, guys, and we have seen the drafts. Does anybody feel any differently here from our original votes of the Ballistix, and Ballistix?
I'm feeling even worse now for BlossoM. I think Thrall takes too long to really get rolling.
Okay.
Could happen on this game. I think Anubarak as the solo tank is going to struggle so much when it comes to making those plays, and we saw how good Ballistix was when it comes to just kiting the enemy team a little bit, waiting until it's right to fight, and they never got caught against Anubarak in the last game. I don't think they're going to get caught on BOE, which is a smaller map even. No room for mistake here. I think Ballistix got this.
The whole thing about the Malfurion pick is Malfurion just needs to be a support. And it just needs, you don't need to be the big playmaker, because a lot of what... Don't feed, because a lot of what's going to happen is the Anubarak dive, the Thrall's going to come in behind it, Genji's going to come in behind it. If you just casually throw a root down right there, get the heal, I think that's all that you need.
And post 13, that's going to get even harder. Here we are. Potentially game point between Ballistix and BlossoM on Battlefield of Eternity. Boys, take it away.
With pleasure, Dread, we're going to find out whether BlossoM drops down to the lower bracket for the first time or whether they can tie out the series once again. Ballistix, though, looked strong on Sky Temple. Can they do it again? It is Wiz on that Thrall. We're going to pay special attention onto how well he's going to be able to stack it up on that Crash Lightning, but Li Ming as well, actually, in the fray here. So a lot of pokey-poke, a lot of long-distance siege damage to Teihao. BlossoM putting all their eggs in one basket, trying to find a target, pick it apart, get a reset, double reset actually with Genji and Li Ming, and try to snowball team fights from there.
Yeah, if it works beautifully. I think that they have a little bit more well-rounded approach here, and I like that a lot more. The Uther, I think, obviously with the counter towards Tracer Pulse Bombs is key, but there's so much else that could come out between the Blaze, ETC, Greymane that you have to be very diplomatic with your approach on who's getting those heals, when they're getting those heals, and how everybody's able to keep themselves alive. You have the mobility between Li Ming and Genji to keep them alive, but also finding the opportunities to be aggressive.
And speaking of aggressiveness and how to go in and deliver the damage, we see Greymane now falling back from that cocktail adventure on Sky Temple and instead going to what is known to work really well in the current meta. Viciousness at level 1, auto attack focus here. I like that choice, especially if you think about it. Tracer and Greymane focusing on the same target ideally, whether it's an Anubarak or a Genji or a Thrall, they're all going to melt very quickly.
Well, so far, Ballistix again has come out, Kendrick, with theory in mind, but that's going to be met by Gondar and team going in. He gets the stun, gets the lockdown. There's that dive potential. There's a reset. Hooligan, there's another reset. You see Genji diving on in, just casually cleaning up. BlossoM.
Yeah, and that was really well played, actually. That's exactly, of course, those moments that they're looking for. Snowball those team fights, reset after reset, but I'm a little bit flabbergasted by how the lanes are currently split out. I mean, normally you would expect Thrall to be in the foreman, right? Otherwise he can't stack up, but guess what? With that double reset, you have way more killing potential in the early game, and Thrall is probably going to be like Wiz knows that the moment the Immortals are being deployed, the moment teams are stacking up naturally to get the map objective, he's going to get those stacks anyways.
I will say that as somebody who has played a lot of Crash Lightning on Thrall, it does feel bad when you're in the solo lane, man. It's
it feels bad, right?
I just want to stack. You let me in the 4-man. Come on now.
But if your team is tearing it up in the meantime, you're not going to be too salty about it.
Okay, it's good now, but let's see if it works. But as you said, this battleground obviously does favor Crash Lightning, especially during the objective phase. You can kind of make up for lost time at that point.
Definitely true. And Tracer also was doing the solo shenanigans in the top lane to deal with that thrall. Very interesting that it was actually Blaze who stuck in that 4-man. And let's see how those team fights are now going to unfold. Obviously, those 2 kills were very nice, but obviously as well, it's not too big of a lead that BlossoM was able to establish themselves. And here we see this probably superior racing potential by Ballistix with those strong hitting auto attackers like Greymane, like the Tracer. So BlossoM, they realized they're going to have to defend first, maybe get a kill or 2, and then put some attention on the Red Immortal themselves.
Oh, SC barely gets out of there alive. Genji, he's out as well, but Jangha ate the big arcane orb from Modern that was thrown in there, and it just so happened to get that max splash damage over onto SC there on Tracer, and that almost cost them.
And look at how well BlossoM is posturing up there, JL, as well in that vision obscured area. They basically make sure that nobody is going to be able to approach their Immortal unharmed here. ETC trying to check it out here. Stuns onto Gondar. He takes a lot of damage, but escapes barely.
Oh, are you kidding me? And Nasang, he's trying to make it out. He might be turning into Ghost Uther here. He does end up following. That's going to be the first kill of the game here for Ballistix. They're also going to kick off the halftime show. They're trying to zone out. You can see Hooligan trying to anticipate, seeing if Li Ming might blink one way, unable to do so, as dipped on out the other.
And Uther's Spirit was crying out in help, stay here, I can heal you, but everybody was already around the corner, too far away to get any trade value, and that is just going to be an easy walk in the park for Ballistix now to finish off the Blue Immortal. Without the help of Uther, without the main support, there's only so much they can do. Now, this is a pretty hefty first Immortal, 75% roughly on those shields. Let's see how much value they can get from it.
Yeah, you know, they don't have terrible defense. I mean, Li Ming sounds good, but as long as there's minions and everything kind of at the forefront, and you can eat some of those shots, you can take away a lot of that damage. There's a little bit of stun action coming in here, getting the lockdown, but the Immortal has joined. The Immortal sends Gondar flying. The Pulse Bomb not enough to confirm the kill yet. As we get later in the game, it will be, and you can see Jangha coming in with the stun. Follow up with the Immortal stun there, getting the MVP status, getting the kill.
Yeah, the pincer move from 2 sides at the same time came Blaze and ETC trying, and speaking of coming from a different side, Hooligan, the perfect cleanse though. Nasang is making all the support players out there learn a lesson or two on how to prevent any power slide value.
Yeah, you can hear that dong sound of the cleanse coming in. I wonder, like, did Gondar get his burrow charge off before, or can he be thinking his Uther player there is the song getting the clutch one there, but now Ballistix, see if they can replicate.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Dudu just escaping with, I don't know how much HP that is left, but that was so clutch. The CC chain almost landing perfectly there, only in the matter of a couple of seconds was he able to save his ninja bud out there.
Well, Ballistix, they've got themselves about a little over a level lead here. Gotten quite a bit of control. There's another cleanse there, but the roots are going to lock him down the minute that expires. That's going to be another takedown here.
Yeah.
Genji trying to get the deflect. The slow going to be there onto Nasang. The power slide over, and Uther in all sorts of trouble. Does manage to live, and they get the counter kill onto ETC here.
What? Wait a minute. Tracer was going in so deep. SCSC calculated risk there, finishing it off with the parting gift. But I was going to say, ETC, you know, Hooligan playing a little bit like a vacuum cleaner. Each power slide is going to, you know, get those guys in, collecting them all. And this time he was a little bit too overzealous, but doesn't really matter. They still maintain a solid 1-level lead. I think they're going to be cool with that.
He brings the Megadeth. Yeah. You know, the trade out there on kills there definitely favors BlossoM, and right now I'm a bit surprised. Obviously they want to make sure and get their Shaman camp, they want to get that bottom lane soaked, but they're actually missing out on a little bit in the top lane. I'm surprised that they're willing to give that up. They need every scant inch of experience that they can right now just to try and catch up in terms of experience, because 10 is here, the Immortal's spawning here in just a few seconds.
All right, they're dealing with this blue Fallen Shaman camp very, very quickly, and that is oftentimes the difference between Korean and Chinese teams, whereas in China we would have probably seen a full 5-man engage, fist-to-fist, toe-to-toe. Here Ballistix realize, you know what, we're just going to let him have it. We do have level 10 true, but do we want to take those unnecessary risks? We don't think so. We're just going to clear that Shaman camp in the matter of a second or two.
Sitting here looking at interrupts. Got potentially Sundering. Wave of Force, and Uther stunned, but we still got our Mosh Pit. We'll see if that comes into play here, whether they can get some value out of that.
Yeah.
Hooligan waiting in the bush. Wiz, he's going to get power slid upon. SDE, there's the Mosh Pit, instantly gets interrupted, but Wiz getting the heal, getting some self-sustain, and level 10 picked up. That's a big turnaround here for BlossoM.
That's a big cooldown now to be used just like that by Hooligan. He probably didn't expect Thrall to be this close to his teammates that could save them. The Wave of Force wasn't even locked in yet because Gen 10 had just arrived. And now we have, of course, the infamous rivalry between Li Ming and ETC, right? The Wave of Force, who's going to pull the trigger first, oftentimes waiting specifically for that Mosh Pit to go down once again. Look at Blaze, though, blocking so much of that damage.
Oh, the Divine Shield allowing him, despite the silence coming in. Dudu is able to get the kill there, and another clutch play here by Nisang, who is standing out, a god amongst men right now, as he is doing everything to empower his team. And that Divine Shield there just turned that. Not only that, but they had the Cocoon onto Blaze, which is kind of the new, hey, let's take away your version of, you know, a Divine Shield, a Sanctification in that bunker, so take that off the table. Good team coordination by BlossoM.
And we're going to have to tip my fedora to the two players that I criticized a little bit. It was Nasang and it was also Gondar on that Anub'arak, but the Cocoon was so good, preventing Blaze from actually landing the bunker in time, preventing him from using those body blocks to keep and intercepting all those plays. But here we see the bunker dance going in. Hooligan is safe for now. No double reset.
No double reset. Gondar lucky to be alive as he tucks tail and run. But right now, with only 1,100 health left on this Immortal, I don't know if BlossoM's going to be able to defend much longer. They're going to try and take any bit of shield they can off of theirs. Give up this Immortal.
Yeah, it's actually still admirable to see that Ballistix was able to clutch it out. Although this Immortal won't be as powerful as the previous one, it is still so good to see that all their long-distance poke from Blaze, most importantly Zhongha there, really on point with the oil spill, that they were still able to get it, right?
Still able to get it. You know, the whole thing is the Thrall factor is still mounting. And when we look at
he's
the
still
way
baby Thrall.
When we see this continue to evolve, though, that's where like some of the poke potential is going to come in. You know, they're going to sit here, potentially try and take a fight behind the Immortal pre-13. But as long as they threaten the fight, it's allowing them to get the shield down on the Immortal. They got to be a little bit careful. Zhongha using that run, and he's going in.
He's going in. The Cocoon is still good. The Sunder goes in as well, but Thrall in the meantime exposing himself there as well. The double kill by Genji. He's leaving no one left alive. No victims taken.
Magi is going to be going down as well. Blaze on the backside. He's trying to get the trade out onto Wiz there, onto Thrall, but every second he buys allows the Immortal to push a little bit further. That is all 5 members down on the side of Ballistix. Immortal will be cleaned up here, but not before taking that entire keep wall. But BlossoM, post level 10, Kendrick, they are coming to fight.
Yeah, all it takes is one death, one moment of unawareness for Ballistix, and BlossoM is going to skyrocket themselves ahead in those team fights. They actually caught up in experience. They're leading the table now as well. And we talked about, you know, Thrall still being baby little green Jesus, you know. He's getting more and more stacks. He's going to get more and more value in those longer drawn-out battles. And that's the cool thing about Thrall as well. You can poke, but you can also do really well when it comes to blowing people apart with that Sundering.
It's worked out well as of late, and you can see BlossoM not willing to commit too much here as Li Ming was split off. Wasn't showing just yet, but Li Ming obviously not there. That's not a team fight you want to take. And you can see 16 stacks. Once you get that to 20, if you're in the minion waves, it automatically will jump to another hero. But again, 16 stacks, nothing to scoff at. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Damage numbers, Blaze kind of leading the charge here for Ballistix, and they have not got the tracer value that we've seen in some of the other games.
And it really shows how well BlossoM was able to turn the aggression onto Ballistix, which is something they weren't necessarily able to do in the last game. Like, Greymane and Tracer can shine as well because they're not the ones trying to engage. They're not the ones trying to blow people up. They're the ones trying to actually avoid dying because there is so much push potential, so much pressure on heroes like Li Ming and Genji.
Immortal spawning, Kendrick, 20 seconds away. The Shaman camp already being cleared out here by Ballistix. They still have theirs if they fall back. I don't know if they have time to fall back, but depending on how this stands off, see it come into play. But again, BlossoM, they've had control over the last few fights, and all of a sudden, Anub'arak, however, met in the bush there by Ballistix.
Was that a cleanse? I think that was...
It sounded like it.
Yeah, I think that was the cleanse coming in from Nasang there as well. So BlossoM may not have that important cooldown at the ready. In the meantime, the Fallen Shaman camp for Ballistix is still available, so they could have maybe gone for that if they hadn't focused on Gondar too much. Now they're the ones defending the right Immortal, and this is the moment that Wiz wants. This is the moment where he really can spread those chain lightnings over and over again. There we go. They're starting to hit really hard. Once we get to the 20 stacks, as J-House said, the lightnings are going to bounce from hero to hero, even if there are neutral targets, PvE targets in between.
SC blinks right away from that Li Ming combo. We can see on the mini-map that Greymane has split off. That's two trains collide as Blaze and Anubarak met head-to-head like two rams going up. The Pulse Bomb misses. That is a big cooldown. It will take a while to revamp as we see Dudu going in, trying to force some action.
Yeah, and immediately the call was made by Ballistix. We do not want to pursue the aggression here. We blazed away the bunker, basically. We're not going to have it for another 30, 40 seconds. So they retreated. They removed themselves from the battlefield only to deal significant amounts of damage onto the Blue Immortal thanks to their great racing potential.
Big stuns coming in. You can see the cocoon onto Tracer. Zhang Ha is trying to get out of there, but it's all for naught. Twilight Dream was met by Divine Shield as Genji getting the reset. He manages to survive miraculously. What's going to go down, all it took was that reset to allow him to survive and get that extra swift strike out.
Yeah, and that was so huge. The Divine Shield perfectly timed. The Twilight Dream completely whiffed. Otherwise, that could have maybe been the end of Genji. But the way BlossoM is executing the team fights, the way they're coordinating their cooldowns as well, it is just a pleasure, a bliss to behold. And all of a sudden, look at that 16. It is so yummy, so nearby. And let's see if BlossoM can finally turn the tides here. 50% shield Immortal, but still so many structures left for Ballistix to fall back on.
A lot to fall back on, but the momentum post-level 10 has definitely been in favor of BlossoM. Modern at Hearth back, he's full on mana. If the reset potential comes in, you know he's going to pop off. We'll see as the Immortals falling down just a little bit. Wiz continuing to stack. Don't forget. Now, I'm sure he's got to be sitting at 20, and now this is much easier for him to stack in these lanes, and you do not want to continue to give those up for free and for nothing, basically, because this fort is gone.
And for all the young shamans out there who want to master the ways of Crash Lightning, now you can basically just click on a structure, and always the chain lightnings are going to find their ways onto the nearest hero, so you don't even have to expose yourself as much anymore. This is really the golden age of Thrall, if you will. He's going to be able to deal so much damage from afar. The Immortal still at 30% health. Are they going to be able to deal some pressure on the keep?
They get the Nature's Cure there onto SDE, and now they'll push in just a little bit further. You can see the deflect there used. Genji is going to be there. Keep will stand here, Kendrick. 2-level lead, but BlossoM, they're not willing to basically heavy commit to push down this. A little bit too high risk for them at this point, but they're going to stick around in the area. Maybe look for a kill otherwise.
But if you look at it, J-Hell, the 16 talents for BlossoM, they were so huge, so many power spikes available. The Epicenter allowing Anubarak to have so much more crowd control available. Thunderstorm for Thrall, empowering those Chain Lightnings even more if you stack it up and manage to survive and not cast Chain Lightning on the same target again. So I'm really starting to get a little bit worried for Ballistix. They're actually getting pushed into their own base all the time. BlossoM is not allowing them to leave.
And this is the thing. I actually wondered why they backed off. They have Li Ming, they have Thrall, and they have Genji. I mean, there's so much free poke potential, and you basically handcuff the enemy team here. They can't go to the top lane to soak 16. So the fact that they actually left a little bit allowed for 16 to get here a little bit more timely for Ballistix, but Keep still stands. BlossoM, however, definitely making a statement here. And you look at the lanes, Kendrick. The top lane from that earlier Immortal was opened up. It opened up that top keep, and now we see the bottom keep opened up. As we get later into the game, these are potential win conditions that are not going to be popping up. If you can get another team fight and get a full team wipe to maybe move on past through that keep into the core.
Absolutely. And Ballistix, they realize exactly how much of a threat this naked bottom lane could be, so they're trying to de-push it, to shove it as much as they can. Now, the Fallen Shaman camp is actually doing its shady work in the top lane as well. Once again, if you take a look at that those hero damage numbers, look at how efficiently Tracer and Greymane were shut down in this game, because they are the ones who are feeling the pressure. They're not the ones who are applying the pressure. Ballistix in trouble.
Definitely in trouble. That camp will be pushing in the top lane, will warrant a response at some point. As that fort goes down, it will give another bit of experience. Li Ming with the mirror ball, getting a lot of poke from range. You can see Zhang Ha trying to at least separate them out just a little bit. We saw the Thrall stacks was sitting at 29 going into this fight. That poke potential here is still a threat as well.
Yeah, Gondor actually using a preemptive burrow charge here. He was expecting that somebody could have hidden in that rush. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And Ballistix, fortunately for BlossoM, actually didn't have vision on it either, so maybe they could have used that moment in time to collapse on a Nubrek. But for now, we see the poking game, and guess who's good at that like hardly any other hero in the game? That is Li Ming and Thrall. They're going to be the poke masters here. I like how Ballistix is trying to spread them out a little bit more, so the chain lightnings are going to whiff a little bit, but they need to make something happen right now.
This poke is insane from BlossoM. Li Ming at max range, just casually throwing it out. SC looking for an opportunity, unable to find it. He blinks out, but he actually ate about 50% of his health there as we see Magi coming over for support. Zhang Ha going in. No follow-up there just yet.
Here goes a power slide by ETC. The Vine Shield is out. So is the bunker, though. Massive cooldown trade in favor of Ballistix here. I'm not sure if BlossoM can continue this push, this assault any longer.
Nasong, oh, that wave of force right there might have saved Nasong's life, but you can see Hooligan coming on the backside. Remember, he does have Mosh Pit available. Wiz is going to go down, but Sundry's going to come out, but it's not going to do enough as we see the counter stun here by Gondar. Nasong caught on the wrong side of this team fight, and just like that, Ballistix has taken control.
MVP in that fight to me was Blaze. So well played. He had all the cooldowns ready to apply the old spill in the ignition on the Tracer who was caught in the cocoon. That was so crucial. They just cleaned it house. They cleaned it up, Ballistix that is, and they are here on the warpath now trying to seal the deal potentially with a massive immortal. And keep in mind, guys, these things scale heavily. 19 minutes into the game, that could potentially be lights out. The structures from BlossoM have already taken massive damage, and Greymane is not done. He finds a beetle in the woods.
I don't know if that's where you wanted to be if you were BlossoM, trying to buy time, and now all of a sudden you've staggered deaths.
Yeah.
And as you said,
that is the real deal.
The shield now will heavily be there. They should be able to identify that the shield, the health of their immortal is falling rapidly. I think that not having the if they had the Anubarak here, they could use the Anubarak as a peel, get a little bit of poke in from Li Ming. The fact that Anubarak died, now they're not able to get any bit more of the shield off. It's going to be a tough defense now, Kendrick.
The good thing is that 25 seconds is most likely going to be enough for Nubrak to reappear because the Immortal takes a little while until it actually commits onto that push. ETC doesn't have stage dive. He needs to be with the team right now. If they take unnecessary damage on that Immortal because they can't defend it with ETC, then that would be a little bit of a saving grace for BlossoM potentially. Genji actually slowing down Hooligan's advance there as well. But how well can they defend? How much single target damage do they have to keep that mighty Immortal at bay?
All depends on Modern. He's actually missed a couple of his shots here. He really needs to focus a lot of his attention onto this, but it looks like they're going to dive past it. Gondar's going in, but he's eaten so much health. The Twilight Dream, but not before the healing comes in, and the big Sundering, Kendrick.
The big Sundering, so many stuns applied onto Ballistix. The bunker is ready. The safety haven is there for Ballistix. It's a one-for-one trade. The Immortal continues to pound on the structures of BlossoM, though.
It's pounding. You can see Zhang Ha, he's trying to survive in that oil. He's surviving as long as he can. SC, he's nearly going to fall. Wiz just has one more poke. 4 members go down. Li Ming has fallen. The Immortal still has to be taken care of as the shields have gone down. It's going to take some core health. If they had been able to get those kills a little bit quicker, they're still in position.
69.
Not having the Li Ming, Kendrick.
Yeah.
Is crucial here because they're losing a lot of core health, and it also denies them the potential to run to the other side of the map and potentially in this game. So they gave up a lot there. As 24% now lies onto that. Is BlossoM now desperate, realizing that 24% is not enough? The potential backdoors there. They need to at least trade out a keep here.
Yeah, and this is going to be so clutch right now. 24%. They made the hold, but can they turn around? Can they retaliate? 4 seconds until Greymane, 8 seconds until the Malfurion is back as well. The bunker is going to be such a crucial tool as well, but most importantly, the power slide ETC, maybe with a mosh pit there as well. Those are the tools that are really going to take some time away from the enemy team. I think BlossoM at this point is not all in. No, they realize, you know what, we're just going to trade keep for keep. We don't have to rush things. True, it's looking grim for us, but if we wipe here, it's going to be game over for us anyways.
They're actually in desperation mode. This is full desperation mode for BlossoM, because the bunker upgrade will give you that extra armor. You're also looking at a Greyman on the other side who has some of the best siege damage, especially late game. And desperation mode includes getting in these bushes, trying to find picks. They have to fight from here on out. I don't think they can afford to give up any more staggered positioning. They have to keep an eye on Ballistix from here on out.
The problem is, as you said, Jay-Ho, 24% on the core is nothing when there's a Greyman in the team, when there's a bunker that can actually tank the aggro from the core shots as well. This is now a guaranteed winning condition. If they even get just 1 or 2 kills, that could be a core call for Ballistix. So I like what BlossoM is trying to do. They're keeping their opponents in their own half of the base so they don't have to worry about it. They can maybe sneak in a kill or two. So important and so cool to see how tense this match has become.
They see that the camp has been procced here. Gondar waiting in the wings, looking to find a position to dive in. They find SC. Nice cleanse there. The Sundering misses. That's a big moment. You can see the cleanse and the bolt was used by Thrall, and he's out. The pulse bomb missing, however, Kindred.
The bunker is here. The party is real. 4 people are dancing in it, and that could be Hooligan's MVP moment. The Divine Shielded Dragon Blade is trying to salvage this situation, but so many people of BlossoM have already gone to the grave, and now I think this is Ballistix' time to seal the deal, to take the series home 3-1. 3 members, excuse me, dead. Uther will come back with redemption, or is it uncool and actually didn't pay attention to it?
It's still game. It's still game. The minute they got that first kill, that 4-man mosh pit was insane. Woo! Modern, he's going to fall. It's almost impossible to kind of 1v1 a Tracer at this point. Ballistix. Kendrick, we were looking at 29 total kills in this game. Almost made it 30 there. But 29 total kills here in this brawl that we had between Ballistix and BlossoM. And I will say this, that given their recent past that they had in the earlier part of HGC Phase 1, things looked really good for Ballistix, but BlossoM seems to be evolving as the year has gone on. Yes, they fell 3-1, but they definitely put up a fight.
Absolutely. It's definitely safe to say that BlossoM made their fans proud in this series. True, they weren't able to take it home, but by the same token, they faced one of the most powerful teams in the world. Ballistix, such a tough mountain to climb, and BlossoM not going down out of this series without a fight. And you said it, Jay-Ho, 29 kills in 1 game, that gets my China seal of approval.
China seal of approval. Speaking of China, here in the near future, we'll see them, but in the meantime, we'll continue.
BlossoM's actually going to get a rematch against SPT, if I'm not mistaken.
It'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. As we can see, congratulations there again with our double elimination tournament. It by no means that things are over here for BlossoM. As you said, they'll be going to the lower bracket to face off against one of our 2 remaining teams, I believe both from China. So, you know, it's something to look forward to, I think. And for BlossoM, I don't think we've seen the last of them as they move down. They have a bright future to move forward in that lower bracket, but also a surprising team down there is Tempest.
Yeah, Tempest is going to have to face the team that is known as The One, so we're going to have 2 China-Korea battles in the lower bracket as well, but it's cool to see that Ballistix and KC Black, they didn't disappoint their fans. They're moving on, taking a huge step onto the grand final, of course, which we're about to see tomorrow at the last day of the Eastern Clash. So, Jay-Ho, who was the player that impressed you most from both teams, maybe consider? Who was your personal MVP?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to point. I mean, that big mosh pit at the end, I mean, sometimes all it takes is one play to really stand out. A 4-man mosh pit to help clinch the series is pretty good. But SDE, I think when they fell back, when Ballistix fell back to their main just standard drafts, played a little bit, it's hard to pick on an individual for Ballistix because a lot of it is their macro play. A lot of it is very team-oriented. Their synergy amongst that team is kind of where it stands in there. You know, we also saw kind of the play from the support side on BlossoM that just kind of really kind of came out in that last game. It saved a lot. There was a lot that happened there from the Sun. It just wasn't enough. But there were definitely counterplays, I think, on both teams here. But Ballistix came out on top. And I think, again, team play is where it stands. And if they stay away from that double support with the Ariel, I think they're going to be okay.
And that's the cool thing about Ballistix, after all. They don't really have that one star player. Maybe SCAC could fill that role, but they don't have the riches, you know. They don't have the dummies that are just single-handedly dominating games by themselves. Whenever they win, Ballistix, that is, it is a team effort. It is a combined team effort. Every member of it works so well. And we're going to find out what Ballistix have to say about their victory. Dreadnought is already there for the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. I am here with SC himself after that victory.
over BlossoM. And already, you know, I got to ask here, SC, BlossoM, from a Western team's perspective, I feel like they really kind of outperformed, themselves here. I don't know if anybody caught that beforehand, but I'm here with SC, and my question is here. BlossoM, I feel like from a Western point of view, really outperformed what a lot of people kind of expected. I was just wondering if you guys were surprised with their performance here today.
우선 S 선수 승리를 축하드리고요. 블라썸 팀 같은 경우에는 그 웨스턴 그 커뮤니티가 생각하는 것보다 상당히 좋은 경기력을 보여줬는데요. 특별히 그들이 좋은 경기력을 보여줄 수 있었던 이유라던가 아니면 좋은 경기력을 보여준 선수가 있나요?
근데 블라썸은 저희가 한국에 있을 때부터 좀 잘한다고 생각했었고, 그리고 곤다르 선수가 좀 압박감이 있는 것 같아요. 그래서 언제든지 잠재력이 있는 팀이라고 생각하는데 이번에 좀 많이 잘한 것 같아요.
So actually, when we are in Korea, we expect BlossoM is going to show very good performance, and the Gondar, the tanker of the BlossoM, he's one of the best tanker in Korea, and BlossoM is going to have a much potential to show better performance on the other event. Yeah.
And it's really awesome that they're able to kind of perform here at their first international tournament. Next question is, again, kind of from that Western perspective. The double support Volley composition on Dragonshire is one that is, it's just less common within our regions. Can you give some insights behind the thought process maybe of that kind of composition?
그 두 번째 질문으로 넘어가면요, 이제 그 첫 번째 경기에서 그 발라를 픽하고 더블 서포트를 진행을 했는데, 그 웨스턴 커뮤니티 같은 경우에서는 이것이 약간 좀 진한 메타라고 생각을 하고 먹히지 않을 거라고 생각했어요. 그리고 실제로 경기가 좋지 않았고요. 그 더블 서포트 발라를 픽한 이유가 있나요?
일단 제가 발라에 좀 자신감이 있긴 했었고, 그리고 약간 저만 잘하면 되는 조합인데 제가 좀 실수를 많이 했던 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 아쉽게 진 것 같아요.
For me, I'm fully confident to play the Bala. So if I play the well Bala, so we think we are going to win the game. But I had some mistakes, so that's why we lose the game.
You know, humble as always there, SC. And then next up, we know after that victory, you guys are going to be going up against KSV Black tomorrow. After the performance that they had today, I feel like we're all sitting here going like, how strong are they? What are you guys' confidence levels and thoughts about that match?
이제 내일 KS 블랙을 상대하게 되는데요. KS 블랙이 오늘 그 템페스트를 상대로 상당히 좋은 경기력을 보여줬어요. 내일 KS 블랙을 상대하는 데 있어서 어떤 마음가짐이라던가 혹시 자신 있으신가요?
템페스트랑 블랙을 하는 거 봤는데 좀 둘 다 많이 잘하더라고요. 근데 제가 해외대회 다니면서 지금이 좀 많이 못하는 때인 것 같아요. 그래서 제가 정신을 좀 잘 차리면은 할만할 것 같아요.
So we watched the game, Tempest vs KS Black, and I think the both teams are quite great. But at this moment, I'm not very good at compared to the other events. So if I played well, so you're gonna show some our good performance.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on the victory here today. That is going to wrap up BlossoM versus Ballistix, but we are not done here with the Eastern Clash. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we have more Heroes competitive action.